We keep having this story. The media is obsessed with RFK because otherwise it's a boring Democratic story in regard to the presidential nomination. Biden doesn't have to debate him because he doesn't have to debate him. He's got 15%. He's not going to get the nomination. Robert F. Kennedy comes from a great family name, but that's it. And so whatever debate or argument or issue that the media wants to put these two Democratic icons or iconic kind of family in politics, it's just not there. That dog won't hunt, as my grandfather used to say. It's a great concept to think through politically, but the reality is I don't think he has the money or the wherewithal or the following, even
Elon
if he
Musk
can grow.
No,
he hosts it. He's not endorsing him, though.
Chris talks about the RFK Jr. appeal on the Republican side. There is this sort of horseshoe effect, right, where there's an alt-populist and an alt-populist at the bottom of both parties, if you will, that kind of share similar views. It's like the Bernie Sanders Trump voter.
Well, I think that what he's tapping into with the Rogan crowd is this. He's going after these, well, what if these questions that you're not supposed to ask, going against the grain, challenging the establishment, challenging what is generally accepted. And he's taking advantage of this sentiment that you can't trust institutions, this decline in trust in institutions. So I'm not even sure it's necessarily directly that his arguments themselves are resonating with everybody. It's just this sense of it's us against them. It's the people versus these institutions, and that's what's attractive.
Yep. Didn't we learn in 2016 it's really dangerous to underestimate and dismiss people?
Well, look, the possibility of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. winning the Democratic nomination is not zero, but it's low. Right.
But the possibility of him damaging Joe Biden.
The possibility of him damaging Donald Trump. This is what I think you're onto something, and I think it's real. There are the Bernie bros in the Democratic Party, but a lot of those folks are Trump voters too, right? There are those people. The horseshoe is real, and those nationalist, populists, the people who are progressives and the people who are nationalists, that populist connection is real. And what I see in RFK Jr. is somebody who is speaking to the the very voters that Rebecca's talking about, these disaffected, angry, marginalized feeling voters, the same people who made Donald Trump president. I think Kennedy ought to think about running in the Republican lane. I think it would be interesting to see what would happen if he ran over there. But I certainly think that as an independent candidate, he might very well take as much away from Trump, if Trump is the nominee, than he would from Biden.
Well, look, there's a lot of those voters that you talked about in West Virginia, Pennsylvania,
Ohio,
Michigan, Wisconsin, some in Georgia, not as many.
But not enough to make a difference on the national stage when you're talking about a different
40,000 votes.
40,000, 50,000 votes.
You might affect some votes. You might affect some races in some of those states that you just described. But to have a national impact, to really threaten the Republican or Democratic nominee on this extreme kind of view of anti-vaxxers and what have you.
I thought we were going to get it through the whole segment without saying that. But
those same people, though, rely on the government, who say don't trust the government. At some point in time, any given day, they rely on the government still.